Cleveland Browns starting quarterback prediction. Kenny Pickett over Shedeur Sanders. Cleveland Browns quarterback Shedeur Sanders is one of 5 quarterbacks in the Browns quarterback room competing for the starting job. Browns wide receiver Diontae Johnson gave his prediction on who he thinks will be the starting quarterback room. The former Colorado Buffalo star Sanders is joined by Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, Dillon Gabriel, and Deshaun Watson. Newly signed Cleveland Browns wide receiver Diontae Johnson gave his thoughts on who he believes will be the starting quarterback. Diontae Johnson predicts Kenny Pickett to start for Browns. Diontae Johnson went on the Sports and Suits podcast earlier this month. He was asked about who he thought would end up being the Browns starting quarterback this season. I think they're going to roll with Kenny Pickett for now, Johnson said. I've been seeing Kenny going like right now with the ones. Then Joe will come in. I think they're probably going to roll with him just to see, like, he's coming off a season with Philly and having a Super Bowl. Then you know they can live with Joe and what he brings to the table. Diontae Johnson and Kenny Pickett played together with the Pittsburgh Steelers in 2022 and 2023. Sanders' NFL career picks up where he left off, with Buffalo since being drafted in April. Sanders has certainly made a strong case for the Browns to give him a shot. In 5 practices open to the media, Sanders went 41 for 53, 77.4%, with 9 touchdowns and 1 interception. Sanders' adjustment to the NFL comes after 2 excellent seasons at Colorado. Sanders finishes Buffalo's career with 50 games played in 4 seasons and completed 1,267 of 1,808 passes, 70.1%, for 14,353 yards and 134 touchdowns, with 27 interceptions. A Buffs fan favorite, many Colorado fans will be excited to see how Sanders does in NFL training camp and if he can rise up the depth chart. Diontae Johnson signs with Browns. Cleveland Browns singed wide receiver Diontae Johnson to a 1-year, $1,170,000 0 cents contract in April this offseason. Johnson is entering the 7th season in the NFL. He was drafted in the 3rd round of the 2025 NFL Draft by the Pittsburgh Steelers. Johnson spent his first seasons in Pittsburgh from 2019 through 2023. He made the Pro Bowl in 2021. For his career, Diontae Johnson has 424 receptions for 4,738 yards and 28 touchdowns. Last season, in 2024, Johnson played for the Carolina Panthers, Baltimore Ravens, and Houston Texans. In 12 games played, he has 33 receptions for 375 yards and 3 touchdowns. Cleveland Browns, 2025 quarterback room. The Cleveland Browns have a pair of rookies in their 2025 quarterback room, Shedeur Sanders and Dillon Gabriel. Sanders was selected in the 5th round of the 2025 NFL Draft, while Gabriel was taken 2 rounds earlier in the 3rd round. In free agency, the Cleveland Browns signed Joe Flacco and Kenny Pickett. Joe Flacco is a 40-year-old veteran quarterback who was on the Indianapolis Colts in 2024. Flacco started 6 games for the Colts, throwing for 1,761 yards, 12 touchdowns, and 7 interceptions. Flacco is returning to Cleveland after a 1-year stint with the Browns in 2023. Flacco helped lead the Browns to the playoffs that season. Kenny Pickett played 1 season with the Philadelphia Eagles in 2024. He started 1 game and totaled 291 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Then there is Deshaun Watson. Watson suffered a torn Achilles last season, and his return for 2025 is questionable. Watson is in the middle of a 5-year, $230 million 0 cents contract that he signed in 2022. It's early September, and Cleveland Browns fans file into First Energy Stadium under the cool gray skies that are so familiar by the lake. Optimism is in the air. Not just the annual preseason hope, but something more electric this time. The Browns have 2 new faces in town, both vying to become the next long-term leader of a franchise desperate for consistency under center. Former Pittsburgh Steelers QB Kenny Pickett and rookie phenom Shedeur Sanders, son of NFL legend Deion Sanders. And yet, as kickoff looms, it is Kenny Pickett jogging out with the first-team offense. Not Shedeur, not the rising star, not Coach Prime's highly touted protege. Why? That's the question Cleveland and the league is asking.